Okay, we will be building a industrial looking shelf, and to do so you will need a few materials. They are not expensive and you can get them in most of the professional stores. So we'll use 42 millimeter steel galvanized tubes. So we'll need two of those, one to the left and the second one will go to the right. We'll place them a certain distance from the wall because that's where the shelving will come on. Now, you will also need a laser so you can position the pillars straight. Now, to mount the steel tubes on the floor, you will need some special legs or pads. Now the tube is actually going inside like so, and then you can actually bolt down the tube or lock it down. And furthermore, then you can bolt down the foot on the ground with 4 screws so it doesn't move. We will do this on both legs, and then we're going to place the legs a certain distance from the wall. Now the distance between the front tube and the wall has to be a little bit more than the width of the boarding. Now I'm using 20 centimeters boarding, but you can go for other boarding. The boarding is going to be scaffolding wood, already been pre-painted in gray. Now, of course, placing one tube like this isn't good enough because we still have to lock it to the ceiling on the top. And to do so, we will be using these elbows, 90 degrees elbows, which will fit on there again, lock it down. And again, the distance of this short metal tube has to be the same distance as the distance from the bottom leg of the tube towards the wall. So if we were to place it like this, then we would stick in here a short tube into the wall. Now obviously you have to lock it down to the wall, and we'll do this with another leg which will mount basically on the wall, and then the tube will actually go in, and then everything is rock solid. Now you place the tubes with a laser meter so they are nice and vertical. All right, now so far so good, but we haven't been able to support any of the wood shelvings yet. Therefore, I'm using what we call a T-joint, as you can see, and we slide, before we even mount the top part and the tube, we slide them on there. There you go. And here we go. So you can see the tube. So adjustment screws. So basically at any given time you will be able to lower or raise it. So that gives you adjustable shelves all over the time. And the last thing to do is put a little tube in here towards the wall that will actually support the plank. This is how easy it is. This is a piece of cake, and you'll see it while I do it. So here we have the foot. Slide it on the tube, put it all the way down, and actually you can now lock it down in place. And notice as well that on the same foot we basically have 4 holes that can be used to lock it down onto the floor. Now what we haven't talked about yet is the actual lateral supports for the shelving, and those are kind of T-pieces. They are quite neat, and the good thing about it is that you can actually slide them along the tube, but don't forget to put them on before you put the tube on the wall. And again, you can lock them down very easily. There you go. And then there's going to be another little piece of metal sticking out here where the shelving will come on. Pretty easy stuff, easy to work with, easy to mount, and it really looks good. So the boarding planks are actually 200 millimeters, and the inserts inside the metal connectors is 40 millimeters, so that's actually 28. So I will cut the tube to lengths of 280 millimeters. Try to cut as straight as you can. We've cut the tubes to length, and now we need to clean up the edges a bit. Well, you don't really have to. So we pre-cut all the tubes, so let's pre-assemble the legs of the shelf, and that's pretty easy. Just follow me. We position the legs, the foot, don't put it too tight. You can always redo it afterwards once it's in place. Make sure it fits all the way to the end. Now we'll put the supports for the boarding in. And I don't really care for the moment where they are. Now, one thing I will do, or you need to watch out for, is that the screws are all on the same side. So I will make the provisioning for about 4 shelves. So I need 4 of those. And then the last thing I need to do is then put the elbow on, the 90 degrees, which will connect the piece to the wall. And I will do the same for the other one. Then we'll take the tubes that will go into the wall. One on this side. And I'll need one on the other side. And we'll also need a foot. So this will be the part that will be mounted on the wall. There we go. And I'll do the same on this one. So I always try to align a little bit where the screws, the nuts are, so it looks the same. And that's it. And then all what's left is basically those tubes that will support the planks. So that's it. So the next thing to do now is to place them in position with the laser and bolt them down to the wall, and then we adjust all the rest. Piece of cake. So I will have the shelf on the wall here, and I want to have it, in the middle. So I already measured the middle. I know the shelf will be 1.40 meters. So I'm just going to put the markers up now, so I know a bit kind of where it is. And then I use my laser to align it properly. There we go. The first thing is to bolt down the top part. Okay. So now that the top part is done, we need to align the bottom part and place it in the right spot. And now we just need to make sure that it doesn't move. We make a little marker so we can always find it back. And now we'll do the second one. Exactly the same way. We fix on the top, we put it level, and then we fix on the bottom. And then we're almost done. So placing the support for the planks on the level is easy. Just use your laser, you know, and mark it, and then slide it up until you have it on the position where you really want to have it. And I want to have it right here. Okay, we won't tie down all the way down. Then we do the other side. This is the final result of the shelf. It is rock solid. I placed the planks on it in between, and I can still change the spacing on it if I want to. I can lower it up, bring it up, whatever, and I still have a spare shelf here that I can put in whenever I want to have it. But I didn't need it, so I only wanted to have 3 of them. So this is it. This is not expensive. This runs you around 80 to 100 euros, and you can make really nice looking, industrial looking shelves with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video.